Truth and lies are dancing their way into perfection. These thoughts are laid in the canvas of my mind today as I share the experience of this moment that I have arrived at. Through tears, through questions, through emotions that the worldly events trigger, through the thoughts that come in the mind. You feel those emotions when you're thinking something in your mind about someone, something that they said, something that they did to you. I really appreciate the space I am in. The presence of solitude actually helps to focus and do justice to this work. As we enter into the work at a higher level, it's actually simple. It only seems like that because of how we perceive it from the place we are at. But it is amazing. It rises from the pit of hell or through any kind of distraction or disturbances. Whether it is a struggle in the body, whether it is a war in the mind, or whether it is simply a desperate reaching out from the soul. I think personally, God or love is just as desperate to save the souls as much as the souls are desperate to be free. Both are happening at the same time. The science, the spiritual science behind the twos, the duality, is fascinating. And when it can be put in words and expressed as wisdom, so beautiful and truthful, it is mind blowing. It is a spirit that just doesn't budge. It doesn't get affected by what it is not. It simply doesn't get offended because it is in a state of love, a pre-existing state of love and forgiveness. It is the ultimate expression of human emotions, character, personality, the totality of goodness. How, what, where, and when it can present itself as truth. I go into two different states lately. One side is a very sad, very deep emotion of hurt, and the other side, a very blissful state of peace and joy. Depending on what I am perceiving in people walking around, or what I see is inside of them that is suppressed or cannot be expressed. In some, the lies, that is always a plural, because it can manifest in different ways, shapes and forms. It mutates, it changes its shape and form every time in a very deluded and deceptive whirlpool. And presents its nature as absolute insanity. That's what that is. Truth, which is singular, exists as itself, mostly very quiet, dormant, in a state of knowing and being. There are some who have a lot of goodness in them, but they pretend to be bad. Maybe because they're mad at God, maybe because they didn't get what they want, maybe because they know they're good but it's not being recognized. They have a lot of gifts and talents, but they are mocked or disrespected. So the emotion that rises up through that kind of an experience is offense and hurt. From that state of mind, one tends to hurt themselves or fall into a temptation of sorts on the other side, where certain kind of habits and lifestyle pretends to soothe this kind of hurt and pain. If it is a form of pure lies, in the pure form of its state, then it doesn't wobble. It is always, no matter how many times one tries to have a relationship or even attempt to do work, it doesn't work. There's always conflict, there's always friction, there is always war. Because that kind of lies just keeps mutating into different shapes and forms. It makes up stuff. So there is no real emotion there. Even if they're saying the exact same words, because a lie is nothing but something that is derived from truth. So they do know what truth is, they do know what love is. See, there is absolutely no excuse. Every kind of soul can make it home, can experience love, can come back home. That is my visualization or an imagination of a blessing that this world so very much needs at this day and age. There are other souls that actually lie, but there is no intention of a truth. It feels weird in that presence. Even when I was young, I could sense the presence of something creepy or something very uncomfortable in a place where the whole space and the place that people, those kind of mindsets fill the space with that kind of an energy. You can just sense it. I've had a lot of experiences even when I was little. I remember when I used to go to my grandparents' house in Matunga in Bombay. It was called Mani Bhavan. It's a very old building. It's a real place. You can Google it. Mahatma Gandhi also has visited that place, and it's a very now it's a historic place. I think they made it into a museum. The ground floor of that building was Chal system. Both sides there were houses that were attached, very very small rooms, like a studio apartment with shared bathrooms. So in those days, even people who had jobs, day jobs, earning good money, life went on. They were not poor, but the living conditions and dysfunctions and all that was extremely intense. I never liked going to that house. Once or twice I visited there. My dad also never liked that house. He never grew up in that house. He was also always outside with his friends, escaping. So there is a very close-knit, suffocating sense. And in the nights when the clock ticked, it's like it was like being inside a horror movie. Very very uncomfortable to the soul. People do make the place feel a certain way because of the energetic radiation of the vibrations that comes through the person's mind, how they're living, how they are exchanging their behaviors with each other. Makes a big difference if I pull it apart and put it that way. Let me remind you at this point, this work is all about the self. If one chooses to rise up to the highest potential of what they are from within. one would eventually get it, because there is a truth behind the tone. Certain hearts can feel it hit, strike a chord, shed those tears of being with the truth. Let it touch their hearts in such a way that they melt. Let it go. Let all the energies that have been wrapping them around and not letting them express the truth of who they are, all that falls away. One could be in that space of a very honest space within yourself. You look into it, there always will be that one voice that you can hear, and it keeps rising up and pulling you out of any kind of situation, physical, emotional. Sometimes the tone is so like a monotone. There is no intention of hurting, hating, or judging, or anything that would harm you, because it simply comes from a place of love. Many times it's funny, people fall asleep, whether it's a song that we hear or a sound or just tones. It's so soothing that it puts you to sleep. It's peaceful to be in that place. But sometimes we are locked up in fear and a habitual pattern of an energy that is always putting it down, or is mocking it or disrespecting it, like I said. So it feels vulnerable. It shrinks back into its space to feel protect itself and save itself. It has to grow to a certain extent in order to displace the fear, and then that kind of confidence that rises up actually is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Not with an intent to destroy or to harm, but its presence is so strong that anything or anyone can change in its presence, including especially ourselves. I'm talking about this work that is happening from within. I'm saying all this because it's happening to me, as I'm also observing it and giving a shape and form to the wisdom that is blessing me, helping me to come back to the center from the wobble. So one could feel the peace and the joy. Hearts can be touched and moved into a place of a comfortable acceptance and surrender to the self's simple nature of loving and all the other good virtues that comes with it. And there could also be a different kind of emotion that rises up, which is guilt. Guilt and shame and fear, and a feeling of, oh my God, why did I do that? Why couldn't I stop myself from doing it? Why didn't I have control before I exhibited anger or said words that I didn't mean to say. Things like that. So it's very clear that both things are happening at the same time. You can tell sometimes. That's why it's important to just take space or give space until we get it, until we understand it in the fullness of its truth. Otherwise, we would be slipping, knowingly or unknowingly, into places of deception and lies. Most of the time, it's habituated or patterned because sometimes it worked. Lying about something or being someone else, it worked for us to fulfill some kind of a desire that was very intensely determined to fulfill itself. So we tend to do that. But if you're choosing to be with truth and in an honest expression of your emotion, so as to not hurt anyone, but simply to express yourself as how you feel, that is a very clear, it's a very clear content, a very what to say, the clarity is so pure that one cannot mistake it. Exactly same words. That's why they say, no one knows God better than the devil. He will say things about God, which is the truth. But if it is a lie, then you may not experience it. So, one needs to be or has to do the work to get into a state of mind to be able to perceive the truth and lies perfectly. I have come to that state where I'm not reacting because I don't feel it hitting my heart. It's not even subtle, it's very, very obvious in certain families and certain relationships, very, very obvious. One can say I love you and really, really hate you behind it and wants to destroy you. The stories have been the same. The concept of evil trying to destroy good using the deception of trying to be good or lying about it being good. You can tell because they can keep their word. Their minds are scattered. There is no continuity in the relationship. You just don't feel it build up, the love and the events in your life don't flow, and you find yourself coping with the, their deceptive emotions. Yeah, it all exists. Tears of a clown versus tears of joy and devotion, it's completely different. That's why it's only you, only I can feel how I'm feeling from my heart. No one else can actually poke and comment on somebody else's feelings. The body language and what they say, and it can all be something different from what somebody can perceive. It's amazing, isn't it? Our bodies are covered with the skin. Our body is an example and a carrier of the entire personality of humanity. It's amazing. So we cover it again. We cover with the dress. So one never know how much. So many times people have said, "Jyoti, I can't even tell you're carrying so much pain, but how well you carry it and how well you hide it." Until somebody mentioned it, I never thought about it. Because from within, I always wanted to carry it with dignity. I don't want other person to feel bad about it or feel helpless. So one tends to carry the pain and suffering in such a way that you're not hurting anybody, but you're doing your very best to do it in your own way. There are some extreme cases where one tends to choose to save themselves, be selfish, run away from situations where they don't have the capacity to help others, or give excuses or lie about why they cannot rise up and do it. Then on the other side, some really, really good people actually go to the very extreme of helping others by destroying themselves, as compared to those who wants to rise up by destroying others. Get it? But there are some people who, through the nature of selfishness, which is also embedded in a human creation, they try to put down the other people so they can rise up, giving excuses like it is the truth, but you can tell there is a flavor of deception there. So I have learned to look at it, see it, and then help properly. Because I've also fallen into, when I was immature, I used to fall and sympathize a very deceptive nature of feeling bad or being in a situation where they need help. Then I realized later that they were just using me, or they were lying about it, and that only hurt me more, destroyed me most of the times. So a good person, a good heart that would go to any extreme to rise up and help others, even if it is destroying themselves, even if they have a lot of pain and suffering. So both are annoying in its own way. There's no balance, and both radiate as a nature of dysfunction that is very disturbing to be in its presence. So again, the work empowers us, encourages us to be in a balanced state of mind. One is fooled in a good way to first see it as an entertainment. Just the tone and the sounds and the songs, they feel so good to just be in its presence. And I used to listen to it like, it's entertaining. It's something I feel good about it. So I used to sit with it. As it kept entering me, displacing all the other crazy emotions that, the world demands. Then it started to make sense, started to clear out the spaces. We'll talk about it more later. And entertainment to enlightenment. But today we are here simply understanding truth and lies. Choose it, choose it. When you're lying or when these words are coming, that's why when we put awareness into it, it's happening. How many layers of deception can we wrap ourselves around? It becomes a big burden to carry. We don't feel light. Being in the place of truth and just being ourselves is a very freeing feeling. So even if there are energies that are mocking or not valuing the presence of truth, it doesn't care. It doesn't get offended. So that wobble of us falling into a state of very frustrated feeling because somebody didn't accept us or somebody didn't accept our truth, all that falls away. Basically, it grows, becomes mature, and gives one the ability to radiate a presence so strong that it feels good. It feels good to be oneself. That other nagging energy is not eating you up or not forcing you, moving through you to do things that you don't like to do, or is creating a disturbing situation all around. Why is it not happening? Why am I not getting it? Why am I not feeling it? When am I going to be free from this? Right? It will come. It will rise. My heart goes out to all the good people out there, the souls that are already chosen. They know they're good. They're just bombarded with too much of experiences and oppression. So they're not able to express their talent or gifts. Instead, they suppress it and never ever show it. And it kind of just muddles up into one dark corner. They do it for themselves because it has to be an all-round development of the person's character and able to live life every moment that we're breathing to the fullest of its beauty. Truth is beautiful. It feels good to tell the truth. Even if everybody else is throwing stones at it, doesn't matter. It has to be an experience. Hey, you know what? Don't worry. Just be truthful. I'm here. I understand how it feels. I've gone through both. I've experienced both sides. Throughout my life, I've been thrown stones at. My friends have betrayed. Unbelievable situations has happened. But we moved through all that and I'm still here. I'm a different person. I can't even recognize myself anymore. In a good way. But I do have a scar as a memory of what I used to be and what I have become. So from that place, I'm sharing a few words of wisdom that may or may not be helpful. You take from it what you need. Become the person that you need to be. Help yourself first. Heal yourself first. Find that voice, everybody has it. That one voice that says, hey, you know what, you're not crazy. You know what, nothing's wrong with you. And then slowly it starts to build up. So think about it. Think about it in your own way, in your own words, in your own space of your mind and heart. And then share it with all your friends in whichever way. This kind of thing doesn't seek a stage. It simply is there as a friend and as a comforter and as a story of truth being truth, good being good, and love being love. It's for everyone to experience. It's not fake, it's not made up. It's very, very real. And one tends to look forward to living life a little more beautifully and gloriously. You love life and you live to love.